that believes that needs to vote in the midterms. We need to reactivate everyone that voted for Trump in the presidential election on November 5th, 2024. You got to wake up and start voting in these special elections and the midterms. Treat the midterms like November 5th, 2024. Please, por favor, please. How do you say please in French? I forget. How do you say?
I would say that's the one thing Republicans aren't good at. The worst at probably is voting for in the midterms.
Well, it's got to change. This is Trump's last rodeo. He's a lame duck president. We got 3 years of the best president ever. All he's asking you is to show up one day and friggin' go like this. Boop. That's it. That's all you have to do. Come on.
Right.
You know what I mean?
Can you imagine a Democratic president proposing a national day of rededication to God and prayer like he's doing in May?
Yes, sir.
You'd be waiting a long time for a
post a meme. I've got that. I'll post that meme. If you weren't aware of that, folks, Trump's doing a national rededication of the United States to Christ in May.
That's correct. Yep, awesome. on the National Mall.
Yes. Mm-hmm. That is so important culturally. The optics of it, it's awesome. It's an awesome thing that he's doing. I love it.
It's amazing. He has the guts to do stuff like that, man.
Well, he's got guts. Period. Most politicians don't. Most politicians are in it for the long, long haul, man. They want to rake in that money forever.
I heard something that really moved me the other day, and it was this. Basically, that before God condemned any country, city, or whatnot, he always sent a messenger of warning that said, hey, you need to change your ways or bad things are going to happen, right? And I do believe that Donald Trump is that messenger. And I think that this is our nation's opportunity to get back to where we should be. And if we don't heed the warning, that I think that maybe the perspective of if we can't keep it, then we shouldn't have it.
Amen. I could agree more. And I think Trump I think the Biden-Harris administration sandwiched between two Trump administrations highlights that even more. Yeah. We saw what Democrats could do when they controlled the entire government, which they only did for 2 years, thank goodness. But we saw what they were up to. Open borders, double-digit inflation, giving way too much to undocumented folks. I can keep going, but we saw what they wanted for the country, and that's why Kamala Harris lost so definitively. Thank goodness. Trump saved us from Hillary Clinton and Kamala Harris. Thank goodness. But he's done in 2028, guys. He's going to be off the ballot. We need to step up. It's our turn. And Sierra, I want to pass the torch to you personally. The fate of our party is in your hands, young lady.
All right. Jeez, that's a lot of pressure. I was gonna say I'm looking to, extend the presidency to forever dictatorship.
I'm just kidding.
Let's go.
No, I'm kidding. He's like, I'm taking the torch back. I'm taking it back.
2028. I have a legitimate argument for Trump 2028, which is so funny. Because technically we can, which is just so, I like to troll the Democrats about it because they're always crying about Trump. So it's we're talking about the midterms. They're crying about Trump and they don't want to talk about their bad ideas. And so it's Trump 2028 is why not? For those people because in the debate with people like that, it's come on, they're losing their mind. So the debate goes like this. It goes
allegedly. By the way, this is all. Everything you're gonna say is allegedly.
So you need a congressional objection in order to stop a certification of a president. So according to our article, according to our Constitution, you have to the man that whoever gets the electoral votes has to be certified. So hypothetically, if we wrote his name in on the ballot, they would have to count the vote, and if he won the electoral votes, they would have to certify him unless they had a congressional objection. Of course, the objection would be due to the 22nd Amendment.
Right.
But they would have to get the votes in order to do that. And then some would argue me and say, some really smart-ass Democrat would argue me and say that there are laws that say that they wouldn't count a vote that didn't qualify in the first place. And I would just say to that whatever laws those are is a violation of the 10th Amendment and the Article 1 of the Constitution. So I would see
That is,
those laws
I love
from the
your
Supreme
your
Court.
passion. Trump's going
Can
to
you
be 80
imagine that
No, I mean Trump's going to be 80 years old in June. Okay, he'll be 83.
I know.
So I don't, and I think he'll have energy forever. But I think it would be better for our party if he were to step aside for
Right,
the Constitution.
Of course, but on
And I know you're kidding around, but I'm trying to pivot off
teasing
that.
level.
I know, but I think
I used our democratic system in order to.
I know, buddy. I know what you're saying, but I think he'd have more power on the outside using his to influence elections than remaining in office after his second term.
Right, of course. Well,
Yeah.
of course.
So it's cool to talk about. And Steve, I've seen
It is a
Steve
fun
Bannon.
argument for a
Steve
Democrat, 'cause they
Steve
don't-
Bannon trolls liberal commentators around the world with it, and they lose their mind.
They
It's
don't
great.
argue about anything. You know what I mean, Patriot? They don't really argue about anything. I try to have a political discussion. Come on now. I know how to talk politics. I can't find anybody to even. They won't have a conversation. Like
Right.
hardly ever about anything.
No, I know,
Crash out immediately. You know what I mean?
I do. I think Trump will be. I think Trump deserves a break at the end of his term. I think Rubio
Yeah, no,
or
he
JD.
does. He does.
I think
Who do you
Rubio
really
or JD.
got? Who do you got for 28?
I like Rubio and JD Vance.
I like Tulsi Gabbard.
Okay, cool,
I like Tulsi.
great. JD Vance and Tulsi.
Rubio and Vicente.
Sorry.
Rubio for president and Vicente VP.
As
The
long as
man
Tulsi
has a
keeps
certain
job, I'm
way
happy.
of communicating effectively.
Yeah, but
like
Vicente's not a leader, man. He's not a leader. He's a great money guy. He's a billionaire himself. Money managing genius.
Haven't you seen Tulsi in those hearings and stuff?
Yeah,
Talking up
I think
against Congress?
I think she's great.
She's the most stone cold person we got aside from Trump. Like nobody is as stone cold as she is. Do you see her how she's talking with Congress?
Yes.
Well, I'll tell you
But
what.
hang on. But
She's the coolest ever, dude.
okay. But is Tulsi a national candidate?
I don't know. I think I would rather see her keep her job.
Right. Me too.
Right.
Me too. Me too.
Well, I'll give you this.
All right,
If she can get some accountability for the people that instituted Russia, then I'll give her the VP.
I mean,
What do you think about that, guys?
So long.
Rubio and JD Vance would be like an unbeatable tandem, in my opinion.
Vance Rubio. It would have to be Vance Rubio.
Right.
Yeah, Vance Rubio, right?
It's a great ticket, man. It's a really great ticket.
It's a strong ticket, man.
I would vote for Vance Rubio.
Yeah.
I mean, you could play portions of Rubio's 2015 on the record speech about Iran and how that all came to fruition. I mean, that's like one of the best speeches about what's going to happen in the future I think I've ever heard.
I agree. But so here's to your point, Tiberius. Let's not forget what's great about Tulsi is also one of her political setbacks. She was a member of the DNC.
I know.
And she voted to impeach Trump the first time. That's on her record forever. And she's evolved since then, and I respect that. But again, as a national candidate, that come up in every state. Every Democrat would bring that up again and again and again, and she can't deny it. She can't say, "Yeah."
But she's truly Americana. She's like.
I know she's a veteran, brother. I'm on your side here. But the fact that she voted to impeach Trump in his first term is also true. That's a rough one. It's a rough one to talk your way out of.
That's a rough
because
one.
JD Vance has said JD Vance was not a Trumper in Trump's first term, but he didn't vote to impeach. She did.
That's true.
It's a tough one.
What Tulsi? You should see what you see what she's been doing.
Of course I do. Again, in her role,
She's
amazing.
uncovering and showing us everything, dude. She's blowing the whistle on the deep state like nobody's business right now.
I agree.
None of them other people are like Trump is the wrench in the system, you know. And where I see Tulsi is like she's like like another Trump with the wrench in the system.
Right. I'm with you, man. But on for a national candidacy with 24/7 media attention on her, they'd bring that up every single day.
Right, they would.
Yeah, they would kill her with that.
And it's true. There's no talking out of it. It's true.
It
Tough
happened.
one.
Yep.
So part of the team, but not the top of the ticket. My opinion. Part of the team, always not top of the ticket. Right now, maybe once Trump's gone for a term, let's say Vance Rubio wins the next time around, Tulsi and whoever.
Yeah,
you know what I mean?
Maybe Tulsi becomes.
Job as the head of intelligence. I'm
Well, no,
maybe that's my girl right there.
Maybe she becomes Secretary of State.
Bam! I love it. I think Vivek Ramaswamy needs to be in the federal government. I know he wants to be the governor of Ohio. Bless his heart. I think he'll win, but he should be considered. If and when we win in 2028, I think Vivek needs to be in the federal government. I think he's a fantastic. He's in his 30s. He's a billionaire. He's a genius. Well-spoken. Knows the history of everything. He wrote Woke Inc. The guy's a great asset to our side, man.
Oh yeah.
Haven't really heard much from him here lately.
Because he's running for governor of Ohio. He's from Cincinnati. And Mike DeWine, the rhino, is termed out, and Vivek wants to lead his state in the future. So bless his heart. That's great, buddy. But we need you at the federal level, man. You know?
Well, and we need to keep Ohio, if you know what I'm saying.
I do. And so it's run by a Republican governor now, but of course all the major cities are run by Democrats. And Vivek wants to be the governor. I think he'll win. He's he's so young. He's in his 30s, guys.
Yeah.
He's got a bright future ahead of him. So, you know.
JFK.
Yeah, JFK's in his 70s. Mm-hmm. I'm not an ageist. I'm just being realistic. You know what I mean? I mean, guys, Trump goes 20 hours a day, 7 days a week. I'm not sure I could work for Trump. I mean, I just being honest. You know what I mean?
I don't know how he does it.
I think,
I don't either.
Like, looking optimistically, right? The guy is masterclass. I think that, you know, what he did with the European leaders over the past couple of weeks just goes to show that when it counts, our supposed allies didn't show up.
Right. Yeah, I agree. They wrote, but Hoodlum, they wrote strongly worded letters. Okay? Strongly worded. Very strongly. And they underlined all the strong words with their pen, too. So,
well, not to mention the fact that, you know, they sent all those troops to Greenland, too, you know.
Yeah. They're idiots. Sorry, but they're knuckleheads, you know? That's why we have to defend them. I hope they're as the Strait of Hormuz stays closed and as it affects global markets and energy markets moving into the future, they're going to have to do something. The economy will make them do it.
Yeah,
Does that make sense?
I've also reminded them very clearly that March 8th of 2022, when Joe Biden put sanction on Russian oil, a barrel of oil was selling for $135. Okay. Yep. And consistently stayed over $100 for more than 45 days. And what the messaging from the left is that we all needed to suck it up and do our part because it was for a just cause, right? Yep. And so we're not even, I think it's like $95 a barrel today. So even with this emergency in place for the air quote just cause, right? It goes back on, your just cause is okay, but this just cause isn't. And if we're going to sacrifice, then it needs to be under the same principles.
Yeah, but you're preaching to the choir, but Trump's the one doing it. That's why they can't support it. Period.
Exactly, that's correct. And it just goes to, you know, what this gentleman is saying, trying to engage with the left. You know, you just need to keep on hammering it down because, you know, somewhere down in the chat, there's a Republican that doesn't know how to defend, you know, our side, right? And so by using these talking points, you're really, you know, giving them knowledge that they can then share to somebody else.
Right.
Well, yeah, Democrats are never logically consistent because they don't care about logic. They care about emotion. They want, you know, anger has to be fueled daily. Outrage has to be fueled daily. and they deliver it every day, right? On our side, that's why we're not as reactive. We're not as emotional. We actually believe, again, conservative values are the basis of all of our decisions. We're by nature not reactive or emotional. That makes sense?
Right.
Oh, it does.
Yeah.
In other words, Democrats trigger their voters every day somehow to not like Trump, and it works. But again, that's 30%. That's 30% of their voting base. The rest, they've got to win. And that's where they're struggling, because don't forget, they have no clear leader. What individual is leading the Democrat Party right now? Exactly. Nobody. That's because there's nothing to coalesce around except not liking Trump. But that's not a policy. That's not a leader. That's not a strategy. It's none of those things.
Right.
Does it make sense?
100%.
That makes sense. Perfect sense.
So they're a ship without a rudder. They're a motorboat without a motor.
Well, what they are is a unaliving party. I personally think it's already happened, and we're just dealing with the tremors of that.
Right.